to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Hello everybody, this is Show here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku, Tora, and Toga, I think I said that correctly, they had just been dealing with the aftermath of what happened at the factory. So, with that amount of time, Deku has found out that not only does Toru have a connection to his mentor, the mummy, but it also seems that there's a bit more going on. Since, well, clearly there's some family disconnect, or well, she hadn't seen him in quite a long time. Along with that, these two, Toga and Toru, were somewhat on opposite sides of an argument. Toru wanted out. She was happy to work with Midoriya. He's her hero. But you know what they say about meeting your heroes. Don't do that in person, or don't meet them in person. You might not like what you find out, or see. So, now, with that being said, everyone is on their own. Toga is going to her school, and Toru is going to hers. Along with Deku staying at his headquarters, his base, trying to piece together things with his tech while Fancy's hacking into it. Toga, she didn't get a lot of sleep, neither did Toru. These two saw being drowsy throughout their day, eventually ending. I want to say that these two would have gotten out of school a bit early, or at least one of their schools would have done so. And one of them Toga would be able to make her way over to Toru's school. And seeing Invisible Girl, somewhat waiting at the door. Now, the two would meet up and start talking. Toga somewhat wanting to talk about what happened the other night. Toru, she's still a bit more concerned about it. She doesn't want to talk out in public because, well, if someone hears, they might not understand. So they will need to keep this a secret. Now, Deku, he is somewhat spectating them, or at least watching them talk. He knows that since they got into his life, they might be put in danger. So, he would be spectating and looking around, along with surveying the area, finding that there is someone nearby, someone clearly waiting. So, this is going to be annoying, as the person would start walking towards these two girls. They are ready. They understand their mission. Now, as soon as they would have walked past a light, it would explode, catching everyone's attention. The person somewhat jumping backwards and bringing their hands up, revealing that they have a gun, as everyone would begin screaming and running around. Now, as that happens, another pipe would burst, underground, somewhat shaking the area, the man dropping to his feet, as someone would run over, and kick the man in the face. One person brave enough, along with an actual pro. He would have come by and helped restrain the man, them trying to get information from him. The man breaking free and immediately sprinting towards these two. As something would happen this time. A car that pulled out, or well, was waiting for their own kid, pulls out and slams directly into the man, smashing him to the ground. As the two girls are confused, one of their phones would ring, and they would pick up. As Deku tells them to run, they are clearly being targeted. So, you have assassins on you. This is not going to be easy. Now, you need to get out of there. If you know where we headed last time, head there. I will make sure you are not followed. Or at least not seen. Now then. The two girls would listen. Clearly, this is bad. As they begin to run. Toga and Toru are trying to figure out exactly how people know about them then. This obviously cannot be good. So, it must have something to do with a robot. Well, that robot probably. Or even... Shit. Do they have cameras working? No, wait. The guy would have kept cameras off of us. This doesn't make sense. How is this happening? Now, eventually, this is whenever they would find more people are after them. Deku actually on his way. He's driving a car and making sure that they can at least get help. Deku informing Mummy that he needs to cover their tracks before he left. He would have listened. Someone telling Deku that he needs to hurry up. If she's involved in this now, then that means there is no going back. So, this will be difficult. Deku heading off in a car. At least keeping a firearm on him, as he'd be driving towards the location. Deku, he would be driving, and notice that as he's going along, he can see quite a few things that stand out. Some of the cars, whenever he runs their license plate, they all go back to, well, one single dealership. One privately owned. And possibly even military modified. So this is going to be very difficult. As he tries to get past one, it immediately just slamming on its brakes and Deku smashing into it. As it begins to try and slow down, Deku having to try and fight the car. As another one smashes into the side. Deku basically being cornered and actually put up against a guardrail. Knowing that this is how his dad died. He would open the sunroof as he unbuckles, immediately jumping out of it and beginning to fire at the man. As the glass is bulletproof. Shit. Deku, he would just grab onto the car, and actually be holding onto it, trying to kick his way in. The glass might be bulletproof, but enough force can break through it. That's not working. So, exactly what's going on. Now, quite a lot of people would see this. The architect is out in the open. Along with that, they've only heard about what his mask looks like from what they've seen. Or even his general outfit. So even then, that means he's been out in the open before. Quite a lot of people watching as there's a man holding onto a car going 70 to 90 down the highway. Deku getting annoyed. Finally, he would come up and start trying to smash into the sunroof. Clearly, if these cars have them, then they can be opened. So, he would begin trying to pry it open, along with actually pulling out a knife and actually starting to stab into it, eventually cracking it. The man, he can see that he's clearly concerned. Deku being able to start stabbing into it more and more, somewhat getting through. As he goes to grab something on his belt. The man immediately smashing on his brakes. Deku getting sent flying. As he looks behind him, and boosts up into the air. Being able to actually slam back down onto another car. He would try and re-get his bearings. As he's on another one of these things. Someone in the car doing something stupid. Holding their gun upwards and just beginning to fire off into the roof. Deku actually trying to dodge. He would have moved to the side as he basically swings over the side of the car, and is holding on. He would try opening the door, and apparently this guy was stupid. He left his unlocked. Then again, who gets into a car going 90 down the highway? As Deku would pull this man out after cutting his seatbelts, and kick into the other man, firing off into them. As he would cut the throat of the guy in the passenger seat, and immediately bring his gun up to the man in the driver's seat, telling him to just go. In fact, as Deku hacks into the car, he couldn't with whatever the tech they have in it, so this will be a lot easier. Instructing the man to just step out of the car. The man being confused. Deku then pulling back the hammer and saying it again. The man unbuckling and saying that his boss is not going to be happy with this. Then again, he will probably just track him back down. They always do. Izuku, as a gunshot can be heard. Deku moving to the front seat and then just kicking the man out of the driver's side, as his body goes tumbling down the highway. Deku hitting the gas, and beginning to head there even faster. This is serious. They're actually sending in Abstergo agents, so what are they going to do? While that's been going on, Toru and Toga have just been running. They've been running through alleys, and well, it's been getting a bit complicated. Mummy has been trying to help them by stopping cars from following them, but people on foot are still a problem. Mummy is setting off traps anytime they are followed. Now, with that, there are people trying to at least shoot into these two, and hit them. Some people watching these two girls running as there's many people following them. Basically, it seems like this girl might be famous, or well, under a lot of security. A couple of people wouldn't question until they realize that these girls are just, well, scared, running from them. A lot of people take notice of this as another part of the sidewalk would explode. More things actually being in trouble. Mummy doesn't really care. At this point, he's basically leaving a trail of destruction for them to follow. So, he needs to go a bit of a different way. Hacking into Toru's phone. Her picking it up. She's tired and panting very heavily, asking exactly what's going on. As Mummy would just say that he has an idea. You need to get as far away from them as possible at the next intersection. I'm going to set off a, well, very, very big burst. So, it's going to affect 3 entire city blocks. Hide in that area. Afterwards, I'll start leaving another trail. Multiple ones, in fact. Well, you just stay there. They'll think that you are leaving, or at least running away. Are you sure that's going to work? I'm not at all entirely. But it's the best chance you have to buy time. The boy's almost there. As she would hang up the phone. And her and Tug would sprint down the next alley, throwing down trash cans as another, lamppost would go off. One of the men falling to the ground. He is sick and tired of all this. He doesn't get paid enough money just to chase some teenagers around. As he begins to fire bullets, one actually grazing Toga's arm. The 2 still running. Now, Deku, he is hauling ass toward their location. He was called by Mummy immediately after this, Mummy telling him that they have a change of plans. Head towards this location. Deku hacking into his own GPS in the car, finding that that's about, 2 to 3 blocks down the street. So he would just quickly jerk the car steering wheel to the right, heading off the highway and hitting the brakes. as he slides to the right and immediately just hits the gas, drifting around the corner. A lot of people are staring at him. Clearly they think it will be important, so he doesn't really care. As a lot of heroes are told that the mummy, or not the mummy, the architect has been spotted. It is imperative that they find him. Quite a lot of police chasing Deku, as he is able to outrun them. The tires in the car are bulletproof, the armor is very good, and the windows, yeah, this thing is a walking tank. Or at least, a very good one. Now, Deku, he's still going. Eventually coming into the intersection, or at least the area Mummy was talking about. Everything going off. Deku feeling the ground rumble underneath him as he quickly jerks the steering wheel to the left and hits the gas, heading directly into the wrong side of the street as things begin to explode. All the stop lights and, well, signs anywhere that are glowing in this area would be exploding, along with the water systems in the city beginning to act up. Everyone confused, thinking that there's an earthquake. The area bursting. As Deku would just hit the brakes and go into reverse, backing up and actually going through quite a lot of the cops, hacking into their cars and turning them off. Them being a bit annoyed. Deku immediately pulling up to an alley. These two running forward and actually opening the car doors. They have barely gotten away, as a man would turn the corner and start walking forwards, bringing his gun up, firing it in the car. The two being scared would slam the door shut as they begin to scream. And the man will be running forwards, bringing out a blade and stabbing it directly into the glass, as it snaps into two. Deku just looking at the man and smirking. And he would immediately just slam down onto the gas and drive away. These two very confused, as they begin to ask Deku questions. What is going on? Deku saying that it's a bit complicated. Abstergo is getting a bit more tricky. So, it's all about what they're going to do next. That piece of tech we found, clearly something else. It seems to be similar to tech before. What? Tech before. I don't really want to talk about this right now, but we need to get out of here. Deku just barreling down the street and pulling into a parking garage, saying that they need to go. As they would continue, they look through the garage, eventually finding a new car, hopping into it and leaving. Deku actually taking his mask off, and his jacket, as he basically drives out of the garage and they look like a normal group of friends, along with these two somewhat just keeping their faces low, or their heads down. The people after them basically driving directly past them, not even noticing them. So, that is clearly something they need to work on. But until then, this has worked in their favor. Eventually, Deku getting back to the hideouts, and Toru's uncle basically running out to greet them, happy that they're okay. His niece is fine. She's just really shaken up about the experience, along with Deku saying that that's not good. Mummy trying to get clarification. Deku saying that one of the men in the car clearly knew his name, his real one. Mummy just staring at Deku, knowing what that means. They know you're alive, so This isn't good. Yeah, I'm aware. Along with that, what did you learn from that piece of tech? Well, I learned that they've been testing Eden. The two girls staring and, well, confused. What exactly is Eden? As Deku would go on explaining, the whole apple of Eden from the Bible, it is real, except it is not a fruit of knowledge. It is tech from people before us, before humans. They were so advanced that the tech itself may have possibly led to their own extinction. And just finding pieces of them are, well, insane. Let alone trying to reverse engineer it. It explains why I couldn't hack into it. It's not that I can't read it or see it, it's just that it's too advanced. My quirk isn't at that level yet. I'm gonna have to learn more about this. Deku's somewhat muttering to himself, somewhat going over lines of code while talking. The two being completely confused. They could barely understand anything about code before now, and Deku's mumbling and ranting somewhat just increases that confusion. As Toru's uncle would tell them that they're going to have to stay here for right now. So, as he would go through old security footage, and finding the ones for the building Deku destroyed. There is one little thing. Whenever they took down the building, whenever police searched the area, they found the RPGs. They had fingerprints on them, along with actually finding the corpse of that quirkless guy. And, well, apparently, there was a bit of an incident. One of the cameras was possibly still active during the fight. From what he can see in security footage, it just shows a girl bending down, licking a piece of blood and turning into the man. So that is how they found out about Toga. Invisible Girl is a different question, entirely. They may have found out about him. So, that means that his cover with the organization is blown sky high. Well, he kinda doesn't care anymore. They know he's alive then. So, this is gonna be different. Toru's uncle is turning to her, saying that she can still go to UA. But the organization, they are a bit more serious about this. You can still go, I believe, but I'll at least need to call my brother. Toru a bit, well, scared. She wasn't supposed to meet her uncle in the first place, so this is going to be bad. She knows it. Now, Deku, he would just sit down. This has been a bit of a long day, along with actually offering these two something to eat. Them actually accepting Deku's offer. And Mummy placing a phone call. Anyways, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.